It was all a dream.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Let's start dreaming.
It alters your life and you never think the same again.
Some dumb thing on the edges of nowhere.
A collection of question marks stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
That's just deep, bro. That's deep.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to episode 19 of the L.S.D podcast. That is the Liberal Sewer Dumpster podcast, where two Bernie Sanders supporters just tell you their take on things. I am your host, Snowflake Carson McGregor.
And I am your other host, Mikey Snowflake G. Don't let my dad hear that part about the Bernie supporter. He'll flip a shit. He'll slap me. He'll throw me out of the house. Yo, I like how you come up with something new every freaking time. At least the past couple episodes with the L.S.D acronym.
I'm trying to make it a bit. I'm trying to make it a running bit.
Liposuction degenerates. Oh, now I just wasted one. Oh my gosh, I'm not actually a Bernie Sanders supporter, guys. I don't really know what my political view is, but my dad's a hardcore conservative, so like I said, he'll fucking burn me on a stake if I ever liked Bernie Sanders.
Oh man,
not that I give a
then
fuck.
You're really gonna be feeling the burn. Ayo.
I didn't even intend for that. That was nice.
I'm nice with the puns, bruh.
So I wanted to tell you about something that I saw yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And it was this thing called Earth2.io. Have you heard of this?
Earth2.io. No.
So I think it's okay.
Is
It's
it
like
a game?
Kind of like a simulator. It's an Earth simulator, right? And so there's going to be 3 phases that they list out so far. Phase 1 is buying property. So basically, the Earth, this computerized Earth is just, it's gridded to like a bajillion. I don't know how many fucking little squares there are, but there's a lot of squares, and so like maybe like a big building would probably be 4 squares on the big on the real map, right?
Right.
So you can kind of one square for like a regular size building, 2 for like a big one, but you can kind of gauge at that rate like how many squares there are at that scale.
All right.
So basically, like, phase 1 is getting property, and so you use real life money to buy this virtual property. And then so phase 2 is like gathering resources. That's gonna happen like early to middle next year. And so basically, I don't know how this is all coming together, but like, and then phase 3, they're so vague on phase 3. It's like, oh, we're having this new thing, integration or whatever. But it's
what
like,
is the point of all this?
I don't know, but people are making money off of it, like stocks, like they're investing in this cyber land, and the value is going up from the cyber land. And people are making money off of this, and I put $20 in. I didn't get to buy any property yet because it was like the website was really slow and laggy, and like it was fucking up. Like when I was trying to buy, I was trying to buy some of Dubai, and then I googled like oil fields and tried to like match where the oil field was on the little picture that I saw to the in life or to the video game grid. But like, how about that?
I don't know, man. I don't know why that's happening. Where the money is being made. You know, with crypto has value because
it's being mined and
and it's also, it can be used to buy things. You know, you can buy things with Bitcoin, but with this virtual Earth, I don't know what the what the point is.
I heard someone say it's kind of like a Ponzi scheme or whatever, just like a scam, not a scam, but like it seems like the value that's gonna be in there is only what people want to put to it, so to say. Like, oh well, we can all make money on this. Let me just buy a fuck ton of land and then sell it later. But then this next guy, Joe Schmo, is coming along. He's like, oh, wow, I can buy this guy's land. And then five months down the road, I'll have more money. I guess kind of like stocks. But, like, I don't I don't understand why it's a thing. Like, or like, what phase 3 is gonna be. I want to show you afterwards. I'm linking it in the fucking thing. What were you about to say?
Well, the thing with stocks is that they are based on
Companies.
value. They're based on companies' value. You know, investors put money in, and the stock market price is based on what the estimated value of a share of that company is. You know, based on what they produce, what they make, how much money they make. And I just don't get why, if there is some way to make, like, that money is actually being generated from this Earth 2 thing, then it makes sense. But I just, based on the explanation you've given me, I have no idea why that would be happening.
So let me read this. Earth 2 is a futuristic concept for a second Earth, a metaverse between virtual and physical reality in which real-world geolocations are on a section map corresponding to the user-generated digital virtual environments. These environments can be owned, bought, sold, and in the near future, deeply customized. Okay, but what does that what does that mean?
What the fuck?
Deeply customized. Virtual 1-to-1 scale. All right.
That is a waste of time, it sounds like.
There was like an about us. Or ideology, okay. In Phase 3, users will be given first access to Earth 2 terrain system. That doesn't say what terrain system is. Phase 1, the phase involves the ability to claim, buy, trade, bid, analyze land, trade pieces, and more. You can read more about Phase 1 here. Phase 2, resources will be released in the first half of 21 at the earliest possible point. It will involve the ability for virtual land to begin generating different types of resources that will be vital for building and economic purposes in Earth 2. This resource will be tradable between users. I guess it's like living, but in a virtual world. Like, it's got to be backed by something, though, you know? Like, not backed by something. What am I trying to say? Like, what I said earlier is that, like, the value in it, I guess, is what we put into it. So I guess if people, like, if everyone sees the value in buying this virtual land and owning it and creating like a second life in there, but it's not real. So
yeah, that's ridiculous, man. That's fucking ridiculous.
I put $20 in it, so I'm gonna buy this land after this episode. But because people are saying like, oh, I put 20, I have 120 now. I put like 150, I have $900 now. Like, yeah, these lands are like 10 cents per square, and now they're like $30, $1, 60 cents, 40 cents. So if you can get in and get out, I'm all about that. But like,
yeah, I mean, if there's quick money to be made, fucking, I'm all about it. But I don't know. I'm shaky on things like that. I really am. I don't particularly like volatility like that when it comes to money, because if it can, I mean, if you put in $20 just to see how test the waters out, the risk is pretty low. But
yeah,
and so I might try. You know, I might read up on it.
You should do it.
I'll give it a try, I guess. It's just I don't believe in that. I don't believe in why are they doing this? What the fuck is the point?
Yo, why doesn't just a billionaire go in and just fucking spend like $1 million and buy the whole Earth?
Because they know it doesn't have value. They know, like, if they were to do that, then it's pointless. And it's like, oh, I just spent $1 million on nothing, on fucking nothing.
You can only buy 750 squares at a time, but that doesn't mean you can buy more than that. It's just one transaction is 750 squares.
I don't get it, man. Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't really get it either, but you know me. I hear money. I'm like, where? But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I saw it on TikTok originally. The TikTok didn't really make sense either, so I Googled it. But I don't really understand the concept behind it or what's going to happen. But like, I'm trying to envision just a video game that involves real life money like that to make money. There's nothing really like that.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I guess if you go back to Bitcoin, like, it's not real. Why do we give it value?
See, I mean,
it's a decentralized currency. I know that part.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is bizarre to me that Bitcoin has value just based on what people think at any given time it should be valued at.
It's so fucking crazy though.
But it is valuable. It has value. I mean, I don't know how it established value. I really don't understand Bitcoin, how it established real value, just based off of people saying like, oh, let me get in on that. But you can buy things with it. I mean, there are things to be bought. You know what's fucking
Especially
crazy?
drugs.
Like one of my coworkers was talking to me about how Bitcoin and the dark web, and he's like, dude, it's crazy. I wish I would have hung on to some of that Bitcoin I used to have. And
You'd be rich.
yeah,
Even if you had one. Oh my god! Like imagine if you had just 10 Bitcoins like chilling in your fucking.
well, he was like back like early in the days of me using the dark web. He was like, I would spend fucking 5 Bitcoin on like a big bag of Molly so that I could just have it for a long
That's
time.
so much money now.
And
It's so much money now.
And he was like, I don't like to look at the price of Bitcoin because I just think if I would have saved that fucking 5 Bitcoin, which was like $30 a piece at the time, you know, or whatever, then and I pulled it up and I'm like, yeah, it's $23,000 per share, per Bitcoin right now. And he was like, ugh.
But I'm thinking like imagine if like you were really early on it when it was like fractions of a penny, like $1. Let's say fractions of a penny. Like imagine if you just had like a couple Bitcoins in your wallet, and it's just like having like a couple pennies in your coin jar in between your couch, but like those pennies turn into things worth $20,000. Like that's just so crazy. I had $5 in Bitcoin back when it was like less than $1,000, and then it like jumped to whatever, like 15,000, 18,000, and it turned into $50. I was like, whoa. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I wish I had more. That would have been so cool. I remember, like, yeah, back in my day, like, exploring online, Bitcoin was nothing. I didn't think twice of it. I mean, it was $1,000 less than that, but like, which is a lot, and it definitely had come a far way from being fractions of a penny to 1,000. But I don't think anyone realized it would get that big, unless the people that are really into crypto. That's not me.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it enough, and I also don't care to understand it enough. Like the stock market is something that I feel like if I'm willing to dedicate time and energy into understanding and to figuring out so that I can make money off of that. But crypto is just a little bit out of my league.
It's so volatile too. It goes up and down all day, every day.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit strange to me. Speaking of this like Earth 2 concept, have you ever heard of Biosphere 2?
No.
It was
I haven't.
It was this project that happened, I believe, in the 80s. It was called Biosphere 2. Went on either in New Mexico or Arizona. I'm blanking on the exact location, but now I think it's Arizona because like the University of Phoenix now owns the space. But it was this big dome, this big giant fucking dome that was meant to exactly replicate life on Earth. On Earth, you know, it was.
I think I might have heard of this, but continue.
And it had an air filtration system. It had a farm, a self-sustaining farm out in the middle of the desert. So that's like kind of the point, is they were trying to make it so that if we were on Mars, let's make a kind of a dummy system of what we would have to use to create a biosphere on Mars.
Yeah.
And it was a huge failure. It was a fucking
What?
massive failure. Just because like the people that were inside were not scientists. You know, all this money went into this. All this fucking millions of dollars went into this project, and the people that got to do it were like kids. They were like college students, not science college students, like theater students. They just got kids to fucking be in this biosphere, and I think the project went on for a year or two. There was a bunch of problems that happened, like somebody got hurt in the middle of it, so they had to leave the biosphere, which was like that was the point, was that would never have to happen. Because on Mars, you couldn't leave the biosphere. There's no way to.
You're gonna go to the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're
And
just gonna fucking throw you in space, and your body's gonna fucking travel to the sun and incinerate. That's what we're gonna do.
and that person that left the biosphere actually came back. They were brought back into it, and they came with a duffel bag that they had not left with. And another big part of it was that nothing goes in or out of the biosphere.
Yeah, well, this just seems like a bogus simulation at that point.
Yeah, so it became kind of a bogus simulation, and I think it's a good idea, but it just was executed poorly. But I do find it fascinating, and now it's like a really cool, natural sciences center at the University of Phoenix. I think it's the University of Phoenix, but they perform all sorts of experiments there now.
That reminds me of two things. Is that one? If that's the case, then do you remember people? I think Tesla or Elon Musk was saying like, "Oh, we want volunteers to go to Mars."
Yeah.
Well, how could they use? I guess I'm sure I would hope that they pick qualified people, but also volunteers, but qualified volunteers. But like, if it was just a regular layman, everyday person, how could they survive there? I guess I mean with training, yeah, but like we just said with this biosphere thing, it was fucking. I think you would need somebody that has some fucking scientific background, like in Mars the movie, fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah, that
he
movie.
fucking beasted that shit with his poop, with his fecal matter.
Yeah, that I would not go to Mars. Like if they came to me and they're like, it was a raffle type thing, they're just selecting randos, and they're
like the Hunger Games.
Like, you get to go to Mars, but it was like an opportunity. People are submitting their shit to go to Mars, and I got selected. I would not go because I don't trust it.
It's the one-way ticket, and you're the first people on it. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a walk in the park.
Who are you gonna fuck?
Each other.
Exactly. But what if you get thrown in the shuttle and there's like 30 people? Like they'd send like a man
15
mission.
guys, 15.
Yeah, 15 guys to 15 girls.
What if one of them just pulling all 15 and just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what if like, 14 of the guys, really vibe with 14 of the specific girls, and then you're left with this last person, and like y'all don't get along at all. And it's like, fuck. Like my options are so limited.
I think it goes back to like Interstellar or something. They're just like, it's for the mission, not for the. It's to further the human race, not for each other. But I wouldn't go because, like, I mean, I would go to Mars later down the road, maybe when there are colonies on it. But like, first colony, I have things I want to do on this planet. Okay, guys. And as much as I liked space before, and how much I dreamt of being an astronaut, just discovering alien races, and just oh my god, oh my god, I would not do it anymore. I have to change this world before I move to the next world.
Yeah, I think it's kind of also a misguided effort in a lot of ways, how they say we should go to Mars because Earth is dying. Earth is, getting fucked.
Mars is dead.
Well, yeah, exactly. Mars is dead, and why would we be doing that when we could allocate those same funds into fixing this not yet broken system that we have going on? Like,
I think because it's too fucked up.
It's not, though.
The thing is, I think for later down the human timeline is that we need to establish an ability to propagate a planet, to colonize a planet, and it's gonna happen. If Mars is gonna be the test dummy, because it's the closest one in our solar system and the most Earth-like. And so I think there's gonna be a business of planetary building in the future, where people build planets. So to say, people colonize them, inhabit them, because a lot goes into making a planet. If you were to do a real planet and not just a dome on a planet, you have to give it an atmosphere. You'd have to. That's not humanly possible right now, is the thing. But I'm confident as we move forward that, harnessing energy from suns, from stars, turning planets into habitable planets. I think that'll be a thing.
I just think we need to use so many resources from this planet to make, let's say, Mars, and give it its own atmosphere, give it all these things that it needs to have, it would require more resources than this Earth currently has. And unless we figure out some perpetual energy system that works, then there's no way. I mean, the good thing about what Tesla's doing is that they're trying to figure out ways to make energy better, so that if there's like a solar plant in Phoenix, that energy could be sent to Virginia without having to like put batteries on a fucking truck and send them here. Like that's the only way it can be done as of right now, because energy loses energy. I mean, there's no better word for it. It loses energy as it travels. So you can't just like send a wire of like all this energy, all this solar energy from Arizona to Virginia. It just can't be done. And they're trying to figure out a way to make that possible. So that's I think a good effort. I really think this planet is not fucked, and we got to stop acting like it is. Like that's what's so harmful to me about that idea, is that this planet isn't done. It's not like, oh, climate change is setting in and we're fucked. Like, we can make real changes to make this not happen.
If everyone's on board and everyone does their part, but if people don't give a fuck, like in Florida, they literally barred saying climate change on news. You cannot that's illegal. You can't do that in Florida. That's fucked. How is that okay? You cannot say climate change on the news?
It's corporations.
Yeah, but exactly. So if they're not on board, then the public's not going to be on board, and nobody's going to give a fuck.
So let's start at the root of the problem. We got to fucking, chop the head off of the snake. We got to eliminate these major corporations.
That's not going to happen.
Or at least, that's a pretty nihilistic way to look at it, I think.
You're calling me nihilistic? That's just, they're established. They're established.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're established. But how long have they been established for?
A lot of
How long have the oil companies in this country been established for? I don't know, fucking maybe 100 years.
Like, the majority of our revolution, our industrial revolution, which brings us to the modern era, which, I mean, fuck, the Egyptians were the powerhouses 4,000, 8,000 years ago, but guess where they're at now? Nowhere. And what I'm saying is that at this point in time, the way our society functions, they're at the top because they got the money and they did it first. And
I'm just saying there are countries that are doing it correctly, and if we can somehow emulate what they're doing, and it's not even like that we have to eliminate Walmart. It's not that we have to get rid of the oil companies, get rid of all these big companies, because that might be a little bit unrealistic, but we have to fix our political system so that they're not able to run shit. Like that's the overall problem that I think is genuinely solvable, is that if we get money out of politics the way it currently is, then that's what can fix these problems. If we can make it so that politicians have the interests of the entire country at the forefront of their mind, rather than getting their pockets lined by corporations.
That's so easy said, though. You can't be easy done. That's just.
I'm not saying it's easy. But it's like, all right, so what are our options? Well, we either eliminate corporations, eliminate capitalism, anarchy ensues. Well, that seems unrealistic. Okay, well, let's put all this money and resources into inhabiting new planets. Let's try this fucking thing that's never been done before, because we don't believe in what's happening. Like, well, what's to say that that's not going to go fucking tits up in a couple of years because we haven't changed our attitude about it? I mean, the only option for the savior of this planet is if we change our mentality. If we, the people, change our mentality. And I think that starts with politics. If we can fucking get money out of politics, if we could stop corporations from controlling politicians, that's step one.
That's impossible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Just how would that? I'm trying to fathom myself. How would that even be approachable to be done?
Because if I just think it's more realistic than us putting a biosphere on Mars in enough time.
That's not gonna save the planet. That's the start of a whole lot of other things, in my opinion, and in my thoughts. Because like what? Well, you gotta establish a colony in America before it becomes a country. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta establish the biosphere on Mars before we can actually do something with it. You know.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a really long way away. And if the theory is that like climate change is sneaking up on us and shit's about to hit the fan,
like real soon, like 50 years type shit, 100 years,
then I don't think it's realistic to say like Mars is going to be inhabitable by that time. Like it's just super unrealistic. So I think what we got to focus our energy on is making this world a better place for longer.
Inhabitable for a few, and they can live there like 100 people. I think yes, but.
Maybe, but that's if we're thinking long-term longevity of the human race as a whole, I don't know what the solution is to getting money out of politics. I think that's step one for sure. But here's my pitch. We pay politicians a lot more money. I know that's unpopular, but senators making fucking $1 million a year. Fuck it.
I feel
and they only get bonuses based off of their performance.
I feel like the companies might just that's chump change for them maybe. Well, wouldn't you maybe aren't these corporations basically politics if you want to zoom out of everything? What do you mean? Couldn't you say that they control the politics in America, the policies, the politics, the direction that we go. But they do.
But they shouldn't. That's the thing. That's all I'm trying to say is that it shouldn't run like that.
But if they already are in control, then how the hell could they? I don't think they could ever get out of. I mean, they could, but
corporations haven't always run America. It's not like it hasn't always been like that. That's industrial revolution shit. That's a very recent development that like companies have ran the world. And there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in order for this problem to be solved. Mainstream media needs to be fixed. Fucking politics needs to be fixed, which is a huge ask because there's so many variables that go into that. And there just needs to be a better way to sniff out corruption and stop it, because corruption just happens so blatantly and there's nothing that can be done about it seemingly. I understand. I'm not one of these like people that's like eat the rich, fucking, let's end capitalism as a whole. This isn't working. Like, I'm not one of these people for real, but I understand that mentality because it's just out of frustration. It's out of frustration that these horrible things are being done at the hands of corporations and just nobody can do shit. It's fucked up that nobody can do shit. These old men in their, I always say, ivory fucking towers. Like, I could beat that guy up. I could kick his ass. Why is he controlling my life? Like, that's the frustration. I understand it.
Yeah, they can't put up a fight, but they could probably pay people to put up a fight.
Exactly. But I could totally, like, and fucking give me any billionaire, I'm sure I could beat their ass.
You think you beat Jeff Bezos' ass?
I could whoop his ass. Bro, me and Jeff Bezos in a ring, he's getting KO'd fast.
He's probably hitting up Elon and he's like, yo, Elon, give me some of that splice serum, DNA, CRISPR, extra strength splice gene.
Yo,
he's like, I got you.
He could do that shit. I will whoop his bald-headed ass anyway. He could have all the best science in the world. I will elbow drop that motherfucker.
I think there's things where if you go too far, you can't go back. Like what? You have too much paint thinner and then you get brain damage. You're having fun at the moment. You're high as fuck. I've never done that, by the way, but not that I had to clarify that. But then you fuck up your brain. Well, corporations get into America and politics and policies, and they're so far into it that they are it, and then therefore nobody can do. Who's gonna do anything about it? Superman? Fucking Jesus? Maybe Jesus will come back down again. But
No, it's
Like,
the
if
it's
they
the
want
people.
you to shut up,
Like if people could get informed on a massive scale enough that we could organize and actually make a revolution happen, that's what needs to happen. It's just so scary to think about because everybody in this country would have to change their way of life.
a revolution. I feel like there'd be too many people on the other side with like weapons and nuclearness and. I don't think you meant it. You didn't mean a real a fighting revolution, did you? Or did you?
No, I mean a revolution of information where we're just like we're gonna like here's Ed. We all know Ed. Ed's fucking our buddy. We're gonna put Ed in office because we all know Ed's a fucking good shit, and we're gonna all be hanging out with Ed, and we're gonna post our fucking financials on the internet daily. So that you guys know that we're not in on some bullshit.
Damn.
Like, I mean, there's just gotta. I'm obviously joking there, but there's just gotta be a fucking way.
Now that you say that, I'm thinking like, what did these people feel like? Like the British colonies in America, or just any colony or country that was under control of someone else and had to fight to get their own freedom for a country.
Yeah.
To fix corruption, like wow.
It can be done, man. It can be done. I don't know the answer.
Neither do I. And as I look at the clock, we are out of time, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed today's episode about whatever we just talked about, all that juicy stuff. My name is Mikey. Please comment, like the video, subscribe, share it, hit the notification bell. Carson, you got anything to add?
Check out my podcast every Tuesday on this channel called the Shock Therapy Podcast. That's really all I got to say. Hope you guys have a fucking good Christmas. And
yeah.
And yeah, that's it. That's it from me.
Merry Christmas, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me out. Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison. Someone let me